While I've got you, airport. Let's talk about that. You're losing your director of ports. This has been running on the social media for so long. I mean, all sorts of things. I didn't get involved at all because I. Can you put more light on Miss Reynolds' position and why she's going?
She's done a great job, and she's decided that time's now for her to retire.
So she wasn't pushed. She's going on her own fruition.
Absolutely.
No fallouts.
No fallouts.
All that is complete
rubbish. Yeah. And it's also been asked to me by one of the other media. Is it to do with the Ayre and Ferry terminal at Liverpool? Categorically, no, it's not. Yeah. Anne's done a great job. Yeah. Her skill set will be hugely missed. But like everybody, there comes a time when it's time to move on. I don't know her precise family circumstances, but I do know she's got sort of family links in the UK. Many senior government officers have got those sort of connections, and I think the COVID period has caused people to reflect, and clearly there's been difficulty with people being separated from family. I don't know if that's the case in Anne's situation.
I was just trying to get you to say there's no problem.
There's absolutely no problem. Anne's been a great public servant. She's going to be sadly missed. Like anybody else, she will be replaced, and a new person will come in.
Airport's going to start looking a bit more at the airport. You're going to take out the vaccination hub.
Yep.
You happy with that? Obviously, are you?
Well,
to make it more
for
service when that's ever is.
What that showed was the flexibility of the department and being able to configure resources and space at pace without some of the inconvenience of things being at arm's length, which it can get in the way sometimes. So the Department of Health and Social Care asked for a facility. Obviously, Chester Street and the airport were delivered. They now don't need the airport any longer, and of course, we're expecting more throughput through the airport. So, from the department's point of view, that space has been returned to us, and that's a good thing. But pleased to have been able to help the DHSC.
Let's talk about Liverpool landing. Boy, that letter was pretty. You weren't happy with that letter, were you, from Scene Packet Company?
From
Lars?
From Mr. Ugland. I don't have a problem with the letter.
Well, it was pretty forthright.
Yeah,
he doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it. But if he'd kept it in a professional manner, which he should have done, then he'd have got a professional response from me, which he's now had. What I didn't like was the way he briefed that actively into the media. I thought that was unprofessional and inappropriate, to be perfectly honest.
It's your company.
No, it's not. It's Treasury's company.
Well, it's you. It's a shareholder. Is the Isle of Man government?
Shareholder is the Isle of Man government, and that's a matter.
You are the Isle of Man government still, technically.
No, I'm the Minister for Infrastructure, and I'm part of the Council of Ministers. The shareholder in Ayre and Steam Packet Company is Treasury.
So did you get a rap from that letter? Did anyone go back to him and?
That's a matter for the Treasury Minister to deal with.
Okay.
Certainly, you've seen my public response, the letter in the newspaper. Yeah. Disappointed with Ayre and Man newspapers as well, because they didn't give us the right to reply before they ran the story, which again I find that a little unusual. But I've made my point to them. The matter's dealt with. Yeah. Very happy to sit down with Mr. Ugland.
Well, you're going to have. Well, who knows?
Well, I've offered that, so it depends if he wants to or not.
I mean, it seems massively big deal though. This boat is not equipped for that landing stage as it stands, and your prices just keeps going up. And you can blame COVID on a certain amount of it, but boy, it isn't going anywhere but north, is it?
No, we've got a challenge with the ferry terminal. We know that, and it's not all down to the configuration of the Manxman. So you've touched on COVID. That's a big part, but. Anybody who's involved in the construction sector will tell you right now, steel prices are going through the roof. I was only told today suppliers are just quoting for materials. This wasn't on a DOI project. This was something outside.
Construction's hot, isn't it?
Absolutely,
and everything's going up. I've seen that.
Yeah, and prices they're off putting quotes out and saying this price is valid for 7 days or whatever. Right. Wood, it's Brexit combined with COVID. Yeah. It's a very difficult situation.
So it's not going to go down, that's for sure.
No, it's not. No.
Who knows? This whole business, though, about this new Liverpool landing stage is just for the passengers, because it can't take freight through there. And yet most of the business is freight. I mean, there is a logic there, is there not, that this is a vanity project almost, purely for the day trippers and people in their cars, because is it not 75% of everything is on freight, basically, on the Scene Packet?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't agree it's a vanity project. It's a key connection into one of the major metropolises.
It's very nice to have, I'm sure. Everyone wants it.
One of the major metropolises in the UK. So connectivity-wise, being connected into Liverpool and the Greater Liverpool region of the northwest with intercity train lines, effectively, within walking distance of the boat. I think it's a fantastic asset to have.
Will there be time to walk away from it, though? Do you think? I mean, if you get it's completely potty. I mean, how is it out of the ground? I haven't seen any pictures, so I don't know.
So the site is progressing well, and but there's still a long way to go on it. We're not halfway through yet. Is it a time to walk away from it? My job is to get it delivered. Yeah. You can question some of the decisions that were made back in even the previous administration, and the decision to acquire that particular site. Those things were all done. I picked it up a year and a day ago, Paul, and the key
a year and a day
since I was DOI Minister. And the job was to get the Ayre and Michael ferry at Liverpool, to give it its proper name, to get the job done. Now, again, some of those things are outside our control. COVID, material prices, and the spec of the Manxman. I think it would be very short term to lose our nerve now. Yes, it's going to cost us more than was originally envisaged. I wasn't party to the estimates that were first put in when the decisions were made to actually acquire that particular land, and the design of the site and everything else. But it was a known condition that there were limitations on freight, and that's understandable. Do you really want all the freight at the Isle of Man going through a city centre?
Well, it was never going to be allowed. I mean, I knew that from the word go, because there's very much contracts in place that the people in those lovely flats are not wanting trucks turning up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Liverpool City Council don't want it going through there.
Right.
It's that whole waterfront redevelopment.
So Heysham is with us forever.
Yeah, we've got Heysham is great for freight. It's not so good for passengers. The decision was made was that we wanted connectivity to Liverpool. We've got a great site. It's for the long term. It's 200 and whatever. Yeah.
So just
years.
To finish then, you're not relaxed, but you're okay. I mean, nobody wants it to go up in price, but you're not completely going mad at the way you see these charts going yet. Then,
obviously, it's discomforting because it's a lot of money. All I and my team can control is what we can control. So COVID, I can't do anything other than just accept the situation. Brexit.
Well, we can park that one now.
Yeah, and Brexit, you're gonna have to park that. The steam packet company, I'm actually reasonably relaxed about that. They had to acquire the boat that was right for their service. Their management team, their board, have chosen the Manxman, the configuration of its engines and its thrusters and the
shame that nobody was talking to each other. But that sounds it, isn't it? I think it's too simplistic with that one.
I think you get, if you try and control stuff too precisely, you end up with compromises that don't keep anybody happy. I think we just have to accept that it is what it is. The steam packet have bought a ship that is going to do them well for many, many years. They've got a good management team, and we've got to respect their decision, and we've got to make the port in Liverpool and in Douglas suitable for their vessel, and that's what we're going to do. But I think it's helpful to understand the different moving parts to the situation, and I'm sure in time the Public Accounts Committee will run their slide rules over this, and they'll point out decisions that could have been made differently or better. But that timeline isn't going to be about what's happened since June the 3rd of last year. It's going to be about what was known in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, when some of these formative decisions were made, as well as what happened through the implementation. And I've picked up this project in the same way as I picked up the prom. I don't like washing dirty linen in public, and that's why I made the comments I did about Mr. Uglin's letter. The reality is you inherit what you inherit, and you get on and deliver it. And it needs people just to have broad shoulders and thick skin and get on with it. And that's what I believe I've brought to the situation, and that's what I think is needed in the circumstances. Of course, there has to be proper transparency and accountability for all these things, and I'm very confident that this will pass muster in due course.
Okay. and I have to be transparent by the end of this and say you have already declared in the House Keys election, and of course, full list for Ayre and Michael is available to see other candidates.
That's fine, Paul. Yep.